My favorite thing, I guess, is that I have a deep passion and deep love for this community. I grew up here, you know, back in the, I guess, 40s, 50s, 60s, what have you. And it's a very close, intimate community where you know everybody and you feel safe, and that hasn't changed even to the day. I still feel very safe, and my kids and my grandkids certainly feel the same way, I know, as well, you know. Well, I guess the major change goes back to the turn of the 90s there, in 92, and with the moratorium. That certainly changed this community big time. The community used to be heavily involved, of course, in the fishery, and still is to a certain extent, but I think now, for the most part, it's mainly just the fishermen themselves, the men, if you like, in the community, where the ladies before used to work in the processing of the fish, and of course the children used to be involved in the fish plants and down cutting out tongues and making fish and what have you. So I think that has changed the community. It hasn't changed a lot. You know, we still have groups from recreation to church groups, war memorial committees, arts and heritage festivals. We're still a very vibrant community and very active community. I don't think the moratorium has changed us in that regard at all. We're a very strong community. We have our battles every now and then, but when the chips are down and we need to get together, we always seem to do that. I think for the most part, what has happened over the years is we're very fortunate to have I guess a community, an incorporated community, amalgamated community of Petty Harbour and Maddox Cove. And a lot of the children of the fishermen and of people in the community, rather than move away from here, have now moved to Maddox Cove. So I think as well, you're now seeing a little bit of more into tourism. The community has become more, you know, tourism orientated, if you like, and I think that's sort of increasing as we move forward. Certainly, as I say, from the time of the moratorium to now, we're increasingly seeing more of a split between the fishing industry, if you like, and the industrial commercial part of the community, and now the tourism part, which I think is really changing big time. Very good. Well, I guess like any small community, and even some of the larger communities, we're hearing every day about the problems with infrastructure in the bigger cities, Mount Pearl, St. John's in particular. We're no different. I think infrastructure is the biggest problem, trying to maintain these communities. Infrastructure is big dollars, and dollars that we don't have, and that's certainly a part of our wish list, and I think that is the biggest struggle that we have as a town, to maintain the aging infrastructure, water, sewer, what have you, and again the roads. All that is the biggest problem that we have, but we're certainly working with the different levels of government, and we're hoping in the near future that we're going to hear something very positive in that regard. Not great. Most people walk on the main road. There's no sidewalks. There's very little lighting in the evenings, although most people walk during you know, the daylight hours. But you know, it's not great. I think it needs to be improved. We did start some walking trails in Maddox Cove. They weren't maintained or kept up, and I think that's something we need to look at. And if we look at developing that area down there with more residential, I think what we need to do is sort of partner with the developers and make sure that there's walking trails there, so people can go down, park their cars in the, you know, in the recreational area, and then maybe go for a walk around that area. You know, I think that's where we need to go with it. Yeah. I don't like walking on the roads. You know, we've had a few accidents, bad accidents, and I don't particularly, I don't walk it myself. Well, as you know, we're now working on an update on the tourist plan, the town's, not the tourist plan, but the town's plan. The tourism will be, I'm sure, a big piece of that. And I guess my vision will be a little clearer in a month or two when I hear from everyone else, because, you know, my vision, I guess, and other people's visions may vary, but I'm certainly looking forward to the town and all the stakeholders having an input into into the plan, into the town's plan. And I don't see this community changing a lot, but I think you will see a swing, as I said before, from the split between the fishery and tourism, because right now we're seeing a lot of efficiency units, bread and breakfasts. We recently opened a new zip line. and things of that nature. The restaurant is doing really well. So I think the town has created an atmosphere now for tourism where it seems like the business community and the tourist community is starting to come on board, and I think in the future you'll see more and more of that. And hopefully we can maintain the proper balance in the community between both. So I think with the enhancement of the waterfront area and the accessibility now to the waterfront area, that is the big attraction. That waterfront area and that apron, if you like, around the community was identified in the strategic tourist plan as the main attraction to this community. The accessibility for tourists to get close to an active fishing village, which they can do very, very few places elsewhere. Like we have other places that, like in Nova Scotia, Peggy's Cove, God love them, but for the most part are photo op. People stop there, a nice little place, take a picture. Down here you can come, walk the waterfront within feet of people coming in, unloading their catch and what have you, you know. And I think that's unique to this community. I'm looking forward to, really looking forward to renewing the town's plan and hearing, you know, hearing what people have to say and how they feel about the community. You know, because it's very, very important. Like, you know, it's not enough that once every 4 years somebody votes who's going to be their mayor or their councillors or whoever. I think we need to have more of an ongoing input, and I think this is a great opportunity. We haven't reviewed the plan in a while. There's been some major developments over the last 10, 15, 20 years, certainly with the moratorium and tourism picking up. I'd love to hear people's views now of how they feel. Like, is there too much tourism, not enough of tourism? I'm sure we're going to get mixed views on that. The business people will say bring them on and block the place with tourism, and then other people will say no, you know, it's getting to be too much. But yeah, I'm looking forward to what people have to say in regards to as we move forward with the town plan.